Hi everybody, I'm Amy from the Cauldron, and in today's episode of Dye Time I'm going to be dyeing this 100 gram skein of Pima cotton yarn. I've got two colours that I'm dyeing it. This is turquoise, it's a Fibre Reactive dye from Dharma, and this red is a mixture of full flame and scarlet Fibre Reactive dyes from Dharma. Now I'm going to be sort of hand painting this. Going to have sort of splodges of red, and then the rest of it is going to be blue. I think I know what I'm doing with this. I think I've made up far too much dye, as I usually do when I do Fibre Reactives. So I'm just squeezing using a syringe and just squeezing some of the the red into this, and I'm just massaging it through because I want it to go through all the layers of yarn. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Now, I measured out, I don't know why I'm cleaning my hands, I'm still using the red, I'm not finished with the red yet. Now, I measured out 1 gram of scarlet and 1 gram of a full flame and mixed them together. I don't know how much water I used, but in the past I have underestimated how much dye I need for cotton, and it seems like I definitely need more to get a nice rich colour of Fibre Reactive dyes on cotton than I would do on, say, yarn. So that's why I've got 2 grams of dye here, and I'm not using all of it. This for animal fibres would be far too much, but with cotton I don't know, because a lot of it sort of runs out, washes out. Right, I'm going to leave that. I think I know what I'm doing. Let's just clean up some of this area. Okay, when I measured out this dye, there's about 2 grams of turquoise here as well, because I wanted a really nice rich turquoise colour. Yeah, there's about 2 grams of dye here as well. Again, I don't know how much water. Well, this is, that side is cups and, right. It is probably about 300-ish millilitres of water here. And I know there is far too much, but I have got some more yarn soaking so that I can use up this Fibre Reactive dye, because unlike acid dyes, Fibre Reactive dyes start to react as soon as it comes into contact with water. So you can't keep solutions of Fibre Reactive dyes because they just stop reacting, and you won't be able to get any colour out of it. Now, when I measured out all this dye, I was wearing my mask and I still have my gloves on, and everything I am using today is dedicated for dyeing. I'm just going to keep painting on this turquoise now and then massaging it through. I'm trying not to go right up to the edge because I know it's going to start blending. There we go. I think it seems like that syringe was a better way to apply dye to this than the paintbrush. I can apply more dye with the syringe than the paintbrush. Definitely made far too much turquoise. And I think I might have to get some more yarn pre-soaking, because there's probably too much here for me to use with what I've got soaking out there. Now, hopefully I have used enough dye here. But if I haven't, I can always over dye this to get the colour that I want. Okay, there's nothing stopping you over dyeing yarn that you're not happy with until you get to a colour that you are happy with. Now I over dye stuff, and yeah, it's great. I have some 10-gram skeins of yarn that I use to test my dyes when I get them. And then I have all these 10-gram skeins left over, and they're always really fun to over dye, and I can be quite experimental with them because they're only 10 grams. I don't feel like I'm wasting yarn if I get it all wrong. You are the one that decides when you're done. And if this isn't bright enough, if the colours wash out, I can easily over dye it again. I'm not worried if there are a few white spots left over, but ideally there won't be loads. Yeah, a couple of white spots here and there is not a bad thing. I need to learn to embrace the white, the negative space. Yeah, I think this is looking all right. I am happy with this. I forgot to mention, I dissolved the dye in warm water, because I find that if water's just that little bit warm, just out of the tap warm, then it dissolves so much easier and you don't have these clumps of dye sitting at the bottom of the pot that just won't dissolve. There, I think I am happy with this. Yeah, I think that's good. And maybe just add a tiny little squirt more of red on these places. I really want these reds to pop. When I've done reds before, I have used nowhere near enough, and it's just turned out into a pale pink or a peachy colour, which wasn't what I was going for. Now you can see I've got this yarn on some cling film, and it is sitting on top of a towel that I often use for dyeing. You can probably see there's dye splotches all over. Towels, I find, are a really great thing to put to use as something to protect your work surface, because they will take up the dye, and then you have some really nice sort of splotchy towels that which I think look nice. So yeah, I'm just cleaning up these extra bits of dye that are just everywhere. And I figure if I spill any dye, or dye gets on this, I don't mind if it stains. However, then I will go and wash this separately with sheets and stuff that I don't really care about if they get dye on. There we go. So because this is cotton, it doesn't need heat, it just needs time. So I am going to fold this up very gently. I'm not going to squidge it. I'm just going to roll it up, and it's going to stay somewhere out of the way for the next probably 2 days. It's Monday today. I'll probably come back to this on Wednesday. There we go. Then we'll see what this looks like on possibly Wednesday, maybe next week. This has been sitting here for 48 hours now. So it's time to wash it. I'm expecting there to be an awful lot of blue runoff. Whoa, yeah, there's a lot. This is not a concern at the moment. This is what happens with cotton and fibre reactive dyes. They don't absorb the dye in the same way that animal fibres do, and so there always is some sort of runoff. Just hope that it's not too much. I'm fully expecting to have to wash this several times because blue is a bleeder. It's going to take me quite a while, I think. But I think the water is starting to get lighter, she says, I hope. Now, this is just cold water. I'm going to add a little bit of washing up liquid, just to help shift anything we don't want. But with cotton, I'm not going to stand here all day washing this because it is, well, I'm not going to do that. It is very, very cold, this water. Yeah, that water is getting lighter. I'm sure of it. Now what I'm going to do, which is what I do with cotton, I'm going to let it soak in water in this jar. I'm going to add just a little bit more washing up liquid, I think, just to help move things along. And what I do with cotton is just let this sit in the water, and then I change it every now and then for, well, it depends on how long it takes for the water to run clear. Looks like originally it was the blue that was coming out, and now it's more of the red, so the water's turning a bit of a purpley colour. But I'm just going to keep doing this until the water runs clear. This could take a couple of hours, it could take a couple of days, but I will keep going until this water is clear. And here is the finished cotton yarn. I'm so happy with how this has turned out. These reds are still really nice and bright, deep reds. They haven't washed out to become a sort of pale pinkish peach colour. And the blue is still lovely and bright, even after all the washing that I had to do for this. And you can see there's a little bit of colour blending, but not much. It's maybe on this one there's a little bit more, but there's not too much colour blending. It's still very red and blue, and there are some white flecks through every now and then, but I'm not too worried about that because I think it adds a little bit of character to this yarn. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do please click like and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this video, what you think of this yarn. There was dye left over from this video. And don't worry, I have used it for 2 other projects actually, and they will be out soon. The videos for that will be out soon. I don't know when, but keep an eye on my channel. If you're subscribed, make sure you've got notifications turned on so you don't miss those videos or any other of my new videos. I publish videos once a week on a Monday, usually around 6 PM UK time, and I like to try different things in each of my videos, so there should always be something interesting and fun to watch. Thank you so much for watching.